Hello, hello, my friends. AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink. Welcome back to my face, my card making space, and yet another card using an embossing folder and distressed watercolor pencils, because that's my current fixation. So, everything I used will be listed and linked in the description box below the video. My links are affiliate links. That just means that if you click on one of my links and end up placing an order, I do get a little kickback from that at no extra cost to you. That's what helps, keeps the lights on, pays the bills, enables me to keep bringing out content. And then I'll have links to like my embossing folder playlist, my distressed watercolor pencil playlist. I'll put those in the end screen at the very end of the video so you can check those out if you're interested. And yeah, let's get into making the card. So I'm using the Everlasting Flowers embossing folder, and this time I want color on the background, aka like the flat area of this pattern. So all I gotta do is open up my embossing folder, and whichever side has the flat and debossed areas, which is generally the front of the folder, the other side on the left here is where all the raised portions are. So I'm just adding ink to the flat side of this embossing folder, and I'm using just Salvaged Patina Distress ink. I just wanted it subtle, and I went with Distress ink because it's also water reactive and it'll also create, a little bit of texture. So I just pressed the ink pad onto the flat side of the folder there. I lightly misted it with water. You don't always have to do this, it just kind of depends. And then I'm using a piece of distressed watercolor paper. I didn't use a full A2 size piece. I just grabbed one of the scraps I had and I was like, I'm going to work with this. Normally my knee-jerk reaction is to do like a full A2 size, paper for the embossing folders. And sometimes you just got to let that go. Try something else. So that's what I did. So then I ran it through my machine. And you can see the ink is pressed to the flat areas. It did get on some of the raised areas as well. I ain't worried about it because I'm going to cover it up. There's going to be splatter, all the things. So, and that's also though why I went with a very light color, because it's easier to work with. So then to color in all the raised areas, I'm using distressed watercolor pencils. I have a video showing how I made this palette, like using the shavings and creating it in a palette. Do you have to do this? Nope. If you prefer just using the pencils as is or picking up the color from the pencils, great. That's fine. I just did the palette because that's how I like using it. It's more convenient for me. And yeah, so I did a video showing how to do that. I'll have it linked. It's linked in the Distressed Watercolor playlist of mine as well. It's one of the first videos. And I'll put a link to it in the description box below the video too. And then yeah, I've got quite a few videos I've done using the Distressed Watercolor pencils. I go in spurts with them. I'll use them for a while, like I said at the beginning, like in my current fixation, and then something else will distract me and I'll start doing a different coloring method. But I'm back on this kick and I am quite enjoying it. And yeah, I just went with a very warm combo for these little tulips. I wanted yellow, orange, and red little tulips. Just very, very spring, which as of doing this voiceover, we got a whole bunch more snow here in Saskatchewan. So spring feels like it's going to be forever. Anyway, I'm using just a couple of watercolor brushes. I'd added water to the colors I'd wanted to use. And then I would paint the color on with kind of the larger brush. And then I would take the smaller brush that's just damp with water and kind of pull the color up a bit. It just gives a little bit of variation, kind of varies that intensity. And again, not aiming for perfection. I ain't worrying about it. There's smushes and bits of the ink on here. And then, the coloring itself isn't perfect. I was just having fun. And like I said, we're going to add splatter and all the things. And yeah, I really like this folder. Funny enough, when I first got it, I was like it's cute. Okay. It's always those ones. It's always those ones that I kind of am just like, it's okay. And then the minute I use it, I'm like, oh, I like this a lot. I have more ideas. I want to paint it different colors. I really want to do like pinks and purples too for the tulips. And then just solid color cardstock. or embossing it on solid color cardstock and then brushing like white pigment ink over it. That's also fun. So many things. That's why my playlist of embossing folder videos has like, goodness, I think I'm getting close to like 200 videos in there. What can I say? I like them. So anyway, after I was done painting everything, I decided to add, I was going to just do my, typical black and white splatter, but I decided to add the distress colors that I was using there as splatter as well, just to give it a little extra something. And I kind of kept it, obviously you can't keep it fully contained, but I kind of kept it to where each like color was on the tulip. So I splattered yellow over the yellow, orange over the orange, red over the red. But again, it's still going to get everywhere, and I'm okay with that. So I did all that bit of splattering, and I let that dry. And then I want to get my card base ready to go before I do the other splattering. Because of course there's going to be more. So for the card base, it's going to be a top folding A2 white note card. So 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. I put some Post-it tape right at the score line so I don't stamp past it. And I'm using this Nature in Bloom background stamp. I have said many times, you cannot go wrong with a good text background, especially sort of like typewriter text. Love so much. So good for adding just like texture. So I just put it face up on my work surface and I inked it up with that same Salvaged Patina ink, pressed the card front into it. Then I flipped this card base over, put the Post-it tape at the score line again. This time I'm going to stamp this onto what will be the inside of the card, just to bring in that texture and that bit of the Salvaged Patina color. So same thing, inked up the stamp, pressed the inside of the card onto it. You can use a stamp positioner for this if you want. I just, again, wasn't going for perfection. I just wanted texture. So I did that. And then I ripped my emboss panel just down that one edge. Remember when we always used to do this? Way before we had wafer dies. This, I joke about this a lot in recent videos, but it's funny to me because it's true. How before we had wafer dies, like the little things we used to do, like piercing with a piercing tool to add detail and like tearing our cardstock to add texture. Walking to school uphill both ways in the snow, all those things. The dark ages of card making. Anyway, that's what I was thinking of when I tore that cardstock. So after I had torn it, I added it to the card front with some Big Mama foam tape. So there's a little bit of dimension. And then I added black and white splatter. So I started with the white. I used Simon's Positive Perfect white splatter, stirred it up real well, splattered it with my fan brush, let it dry, and then did the exact same thing with the black. Stirred it up really well, splattered it with my fan brush, cleaned everything up, put the lid on so I don't knock that thing over. It is only a matter of time. And then while it was drying, I die cut my sentiment, which is the CZ Design Missing You sentiment, and I die cut that from Simon's Honey cardstock, and I die cut 3 pieces with the words, 2 of which I'm adhering together with liquid glue to give some dimension, and then I'm going to adhere these to the outline that I had die cut from vellum. So I'm going to adhere these to the vellum, and then the tittles I adhere just individually rather than like trying to stack them. Although this is one of those sentiments where it's kind of nice because it's what I call a chunky. He's a little bit chunky, so it's easier to adhere. I don't necessarily have to add the layer of the die cut to the back underneath the vellum like I normally do, because there's enough space for like glue, because again, glue shows through vellum. However, adding this extra layer to the back just pops the vellum up a little bit more and makes it float, and it just looks nicer. And if you want, you can like stack the die cuts on the back as well, just depending on the level of dimension you want to create. But I generally usually just do one. And then with this one, if I'd wanted more, I would have adhered more. But with this one, because like I said, it's a little chunky, I was able to put a few little strips of foam tape on the one end. You'll see that in a minute. I set it aside. The other die cuts I did when I was die cutting the sentiment was the Flourish Dragonfly duo, because y'all know I love me some little Dragonfly wafer dies, butterfly wafer dies, can't go wrong. So these ones, I die cut the wings from vellum, and then the bodies I just die cut from scraps of black cardstock. And because of all the piercing detail in those wings, it naturally, the vellum just curls when you remove it from the wafer die. So the wings are all curled up and I love it. I love it. So got all those adhered. All the splatters dry. I'm going to add some baker's twine to the card front. I've got this orange and white baker's twine in my stash. So I wrap that around the card front and then use my reverse tweezers to hold the knot in place while I fiddled and made my bow. And then once everything is the way I want it, trim off the tails. And then that sentiment, I had put little bits of the Big Mama foam tape on the one end there because it's going to hang over the popped up 3D embossed background. And then liquid glue on the rest of it, just on the back of that cardstock. Press that into place, let the glue dry. And then I do the same thing with my little dragonflies. I just put a little bit of glue just behind the body so those wings just stay curled up like that. Love. And again, let the glue dry. The other, I had assembled a couple other small dragonflies. Those went on the inside of the card, and I'll show that at the end. And then I pulled out some, I think these were cherry Pawsitively Dazzling gems. Yes, the cherry Pawsitively Dazzling gems that I'll sit and play and shake the container. So I added those, and this is where I was going to stop here. Like I was like, my final embellishment, get a little bling. But can't stop, won't stop. I decided to add some stickles as well because they were still sitting here from the last project. So I have the sunburst stickles. So I added that to the die cut sentiment, but I kept the stickles more to like the bottom of the portion and then just kind of very lightly dotted it, like kind of faded it upwards. And when you apply stickles really thin like this, it dries quite quickly. 15, 20 minutes for me. If you're in a more humid area, it'll take longer. But if you apply it really thin, it dries quite quickly. If you apply it in blobs, it's fine. You just need to set it aside and let it dry, like for hours, preferably overnight. So I let the stickles dry, and this card was complete. It's got cheerful color and tons of splatter, and those little vellum wings, and a bit of bling, and a bit of stickles, and all that space on the inside to write to the recipient. And that finished off the card. So, like I mentioned, I'll have links to all the things in the description box below, links to the playlists and videos and whatnot in the end screen. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me, for thumbs upping and commenting, letting them robot overlords know you like what you see. I very much appreciate it. And I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Bye. Thank you so much to my amazing Patreon supporters. For anyone that might be interested in joining my Patreon community and supporting me, the link to my Patreon is in the description box below the video. For everyone else, as always, thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my videos, for thumbs upping, commenting, subscribe if you haven't, I'd love to have you. And here's a couple other videos for you to check out in case you missed them. Bye!